Well, hello. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Maddog Merv out in front of the doghouse, finally. And we're almost through March. Let's see what we got going on the channel today, shall we? Welcome to Morning Coffee.
Maddog Merv
Today, got our French roast this morning
Bagel.
again. No wonder I'm a big fat guy. I mean,
And then
holy
they
cow.
I always had a schmear. A schmear.
He's probably going for bagels. He's trying to steal bagels.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it.
I have no clue.
And I got a bunch of chores to do. Oh, who wants to do that?
Well, today's shout out goes to MRS Hobbies. I've mentioned them several times before, put links on my page, all that kind of stuff. But MRS had their first contest of the year. Well, okay. They try to do a customer appreciation every month. And since they have two locations, the one out in Sandy becomes more of for the cars and the Gundams and things like that. The Salt Lake location is more of the military, ground vehicles, aircraft, things like that. That they have these during customer appreciation, this model contest. So the first one was last month, and it was a Gundam out in Sandy. This month is military, anything military, at the Salt Lake location. So I decided to go ahead and enter, and while I did not place, which is fine, because some of the best modelers that I've ever seen actually are from this area. I hate to say that, but I go to IPMS Nationals and I look at who finishes and gets awards and whatnot, and inevitably there's guys from this area. So it's this is a good model building area to be a builder, to learn and things like that. But if you're going to compete, it's a tough place to compete, I'll tell you. Anyway, I just had fun, and I had some pizza, and Mark came with, and we ran into a couple of friends, and just had an absolutely wonderful time. So check out their page, MRS Hobby, get updates on the different things that they do, plus they have reviews of some different kits that I don't review. So check them out. I hope everybody enjoyed the train show last week. I know that I enjoyed going. Mark and I enjoyed going. I should have put in the part where we went afterwards to a place called the Burger Barn. But I'm going to feature the Burger Barn at a better time when it's nice and sunny and warm and all that stuff. It was cold and crappy when we went there that afternoon. Wound up eating in the car, which, two big guys in the car. It was a little cramped, but that's where we went. They have a meat of the month, an exotic meat of the month. So sometimes you can get buffalo. This month was alligator. No, I did not try it because they have a burger they call the Big Ben that is just amazing. And it's hard for me to get past that. Plus, they also have the onions, the mushrooms. The fried mushrooms, they are just absolutely amazing. So anyway, we'll have that some other time. Hope everybody enjoyed, though, the trains, watching the trains run. That's what we really go up there for, is to watch these big, long layouts and these long trains run. It's a lot of fun. It really is. And you get some inspiring ideas from other modelers, what they've done. Sometimes you'll find some really good deals at the swap meet part of it. There's a show coming up in the summertime. What's it called? Evanston, Wyoming, not too far from here, that we would really like to go to. So we'll see how that goes. And then we had the fruits and vegetables that I just had to have. When I saw that Mini Art had come out with those a while back, I kept thinking, what could I use them for? What could I use them for? And I guess all sorts of modeling, things in 35th scale. But something came up the other day, and I thought, oh, if I had one of these even though it's in 35th scale, it would work really good for this particular project, I think. So, and it was a 25th scale project. So I thought I gotta have them. So there you go. Hopefully you guys found that interesting, because yeah, that's just a gotta have thing for. So coming up on the channel tomorrow, I'm doing a tutorial. Several weeks ago, I had built that T29 and gone through part of the build. I try not to make really long videos, so I do what I can to keep the time down. And when I put that video together at first, it was well over, gosh, it was like 20-25 minutes. And I thought, oh, that's too long. What is it that is taking up so much time? And I realized that I was showing how I do the paint on DS tracks. And that took up a good portion of this video. So when I took those parts out, imagine that, I was down to like a 10-11 minute video on the T28. So I'm like, okay, cool, that works. So I figured, I have heard a lot of guys complain about the DS tracks, the Dragon Styrene. They're kind of a soft plastic. And a lot of guys just really can't stand them. And I understand that for certain projects, absolutely Russian armor and some German armor, you really have to have tracks that have a proper, wave to them, sag to them, whatever you want to call it. Most of the stuff that I've been doing is US, and because of the way they tension their tracks, for the most part, you don't have that slop in it. So for me, using link and length, using rubber band tracks, things like that, it's fine. I don't have a problem. I don't have to assemble every stinking track. In fact, that would drive me insane to go through and do 300 links of track. Exactly the same. No. I've done it before. When I built the T28 years ago, it came with regular styrene tracks, individual plastic tracks, and it took like 3-4 days to do all the sets that I needed. And I needed therapy afterwards. It was just, I just can't stand that kind of stuff. So for me, the DS tracks are something that I appreciate because they're easy. They take something very tedious and turn it into something that I can spend more time doing what I feel are much more important things on that tank. And again, it depends on the project, but some projects you really just don't need that, individual track look. You really don't. And on some. And this is one of those that you don't. So I hear a lot of complaints about DS tracks. The paint won't stick, or the paint dissolves them, or the glue won't stick, or the glue dissolves them, or whatever. The one valid, and I will say this, the one valid complaint that I've heard is that sometimes in the box they'll shift a certain way and they'll get bent. For example, there's some that actually have guide horns on them, and those guide horns get bent. Good luck straightening them out and getting them to stay straight. At that point, they really are just garbage. So there are certain applications for these DS tracks, and I go through how I paint them, and I tried showing a couple of other ways to paint them, so that y'all can understand where these complaints come from, because there's certain paints that you'll use on them, model paints that you'll use on them, that just don't stick. And I get it, I understand that, but the method that I use works fine, and it's quick and easy. Spray it, let it dry, wash them, and highlight them, and throw them on. And I like that. I like being able to do that. So tomorrow we're going to have this tutorial on how I do the tracks. And we're going to throw one extra paint in there that most folks don't have access to. That's just kind of a miracle paint. It's too bad you Too bad we can't get it anymore, and that's Flocal. Or, oh, yeah, the old Flocal paints. The colors were awesome. And while others have tried to duplicate some of the colors, uh, it's not the same. Those paints were amazing. Um, a while back, when I went to somebody was selling off their estate, and I found a bunch of these paints in the estate sale that were unopened, unused. So, big score for me. So that's what we got tomorrow. On the stash, I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I've got a couple of different items that I could do for the stash. Haven't quite decided which one. We'll get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So there you go. I do have some figures and some other items that we could do. So we'll see. Well, I hope everybody had a really good St. Patrick's Day. Having it fall on Friday is okay. It's nice. If you're at work, you get to dress up and all that kind of fun stuff, and have a lot of fun with it, and that's good. On the personal side of it, you're not going to any parties because it's a work night. With it being on Friday, that's not too bad. Folks can go out and relax a little bit, maybe hit the pub or whatever, and that works out okay. I have friends that actually work Saturday morning, so that doesn't work for them. But we celebrated on Saturday with a little party with some friends and I. We used to call it the Dam Club, dinner and a movie. We were known as the Dam guys, but a couple of the guys just got really busy with their own worlds and didn't quit participating. So the few of us that are left, one of them has a fiance that is an amazing cook and a great gal. She used to work for me. So we include her now in our dinner and a movie with the guys. Great. It's great. We have a lot of fun doing that. So we did that yesterday for our St. Patrick's Day celebration around here. Other than that, I didn't, dressed up Friday, and that was about it. So no place to go, just, go to the store or whatever, and I'm dressed in green. Wow. Like everyone else, which, Anyway, the weather finally got a little bit better. And when I say a little bit better, what happened is we had the time change last week, and winter went, the time change is here. I shouldn't be around anymore. But I've been having so much fun. But okay, so winter leaves. And spring says, but winter, you've been doing such a great job ruining everything. Tell you what, as an homage to your hard work, I'll kind of keep up the tradition. So this last week, while we didn't have snow in the valley, it was cold. I mean, it was really cold, and it's still cold. We're we're barely 30 this morning. But we did get some good rain. I mean, some heavy rain, and then we had a few days of sunshine and just cold. So spring is kind of taking the side of winter this year against all of us. It's not wanting to sprung. I hope spring springs really quick, because I got stuff in the yard I want to do. I want to be out here. I got an electrician wanting to get power, fixed out here. And it's hard to do when it's cold and crappy out here. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on here. I'm trying to catch up on some modeling. I'm going to tear the doghouse apart this week and go through and organize everything that I can. I'd really rather not do it in the rain and the cold, but it's probably what's going to have to happen. So you guys have a great week, and see you tomorrow for the main show Hopefully it helps if you do DS tracks or if you do tracks in general. If you're not into tanks, well, hang on. We got other stuff coming up later this month. Take care, folks.